All right, looking at number 10, we're just going to perform this operation where we are subtracting. They have the same radical 7. So we're just going to take 10 minus 6 to give us 4 square root of 7 for our final answer. Number 11, we do have to simplify. So number 11, the square root of 36 is 6. Square root of 9 is 3, so I've got minus 3 times 3. And then the square root of 100 is 10, so 2 times 10. Now, following order of operations, we multiply first. So 3 times 3 gives me 9, so I have 6 minus 9 minus 20. And then we are performing the operation from left to right. So 6 minus 9 gives me negative 3 minus 20, which gives me negative 23 for your final answer. Number 12, we have to simplify our radicals before we can actually go ahead and combine them. So if we're looking at 128, I'm looking at what is the biggest perfect square that goes into 128. So if I take 128 and divide by 2, that gives us our starting point. But also 64 is a good number because it's a perfect square. So we're going to split this into the square root of 64 times the square root of 2. And the square root of 64 will be 8 square root of 2. This minus 10 square root of 2 is already simplified, so we're just going to bring that down. Minus 10 square root of 2. And lastly, we've got square root of 18 times 6. So I need to simplify the square root of 18 into the square root of 9 times the square root of 2 with that 6 in front. And if I simplify the square root of 9, I get 3. And when I multiply 6 times 3 together, I get 18 square root of 2. Now, all of these are going to be the same square root now. Square root of 2, square root of 2, square root of 2. So I can just add and subtract whatever the coefficients are asking me. So 8 minus 10 gives me negative 2 square root of 2, plus 18 square root of 2 would give me 16 square root of 2. Number 13. Okay, I've got a fraction here, and this is the same thing as the square root of 5 divided by the square root of 6. So I don't want there to be a square root in the denominator, so we need to multiply by the square root of 6 and the square root of 6. And when I multiply across, I get the square root of 30 on the top, and then I get 6 in the denominator, and that is your final answer. We can't simplify because this 6 does not have a square root around it. Last one, number 14. Okay, I've got a square root in the denominator. We can't have that, so we need to multiply by the square root of 10 and the square root of 10. Now remember, when you're multiplying across, we only multiply radicals with radicals and numbers outside with numbers outside. So this would be 3 square root of 20, and then in the denominator we have 7 times 10. So let's simplify the denominator there. 3 square root of 20 divided by 70. And now the square root of 20 we can actually simplify. I can simplify it into the square root of 4 times the square root of 5, which equals 2 square root of 5. So I'm going to rewrite this as 3 times 2 square root of 5 divided by 70. And 3 times 2 is 6 square root of 5 divided by 70. And we can actually simplify this one more time because I can divide the 6 by 2 and the 70 by 2 to give me 3 square root of 5 divided by 35. And that would be your final answer. We cannot simplify 5 and 35 because this is under a square root and this one is not. Please come in and see me if you have more questions.